What if your IT service desk helped you put your customers first? It can happen when it's powered by the world's most trusted cloud platform. Industry leaders BMC Software and Salesforce.com offer the fastest growing IT service management solution in the market today, Remedyforce. Let's meet Sally. Last week, Sally requested an iPhone by logging a ticket using the hashtag request capability, found exclusively in Remedyforce. IT got a request, and Sally got her iPhone. All was good until her mobile email stopped working. No worries. Sally jumps on to the Remedyforce self-service portal, and before submitting a service request, she checks out the articles section and quickly finds a possible solution to her problem by resetting her phone. Sally finds easy-to-follow, step-by-step instructions on how to remove and reinsert her SIM card. In this case, resetting her iPhone didn't work, so Sally decides to get help from IT. She gives them information about her problem and submits the service ticket. It's instantly routed to a service desk agent. Now, as an agent, you can start to get more information about Sally's problem. You can quickly tell if there's a problem on a larger scale. Right away, you notice there's planned maintenance. And diving deeper, you see there's a problem associated with the server and email on mobile devices. It also looks like someone has already issued a request for change, so you check out the latest status. Good news! There's a rollout plan, a backup plan, and information about who approved the change. It looks like Sally's email will be back up and running in no time. That makes Sally happy, and you a hero. Email is just one of the many critical business services your customers rely on. And with Remedyforce, you can monitor the status of any business or IT service at a glance. Deployment is fast and easy with no hardware or software to manage. Upgrades are automatic, so you'll always be on the newest version with the latest features. And Remedyforce is accessible to customers anywhere, anytime, on any device. Keep your employees happy and your business thriving. Try Remedyforce today.
Hi, and welcome to my session for TFT14. And I'm Howard Kendall, and I've spent many years in this industry, and I've been watching some of the sessions this morning, which have been fascinating. And I particularly enjoyed the session from Rui in Portugal, where, God, he can draw so well. And the bottom line is I just hate people that can draw like that. And I'm just envious because I've never been able to draw anything. But some great hints and tips from him and some other great sessions. My aim for today is I'm not going to draw anything. That's something that I can reassure you of. But I have got a few slides that I'd like to show to you, but I am going to be chatting through most of the slides and giving you my opinion of where we are with what's out there today in the ITSM and Service Desk world that maybe could be useful to you in improving your standard of IT service. That's what this session is all about. So let's very quickly give you my slides, and I'm moving around here and trying to make the technology work. Here we go. Right, I'm now sharing. Let's switch to the PowerPoint. I love technology. Okay. Of course, I used the controversial title, never mind the this is for real, merely to illustrate that I think there's a lot of hype about some of the new, in bunny's ears, methodologies out there. And actually, what I think is that it's random as to which apply positively to you. A little bit about the we founded back in 1988, and I know it says by me there. This must be an old version of the slides because I'm sure I didn't took that out, but never mind. It's obviously it was founded by me. We've been around a long time, and the bottom line is why we exist is very much to be there for people that work in service desks, and that spins off onto the rest of our ITSM. So we're here for service desks to do stuff better, simple as that. Lots of organizations well, a lot of our guys are out there in Las Vegas ping events and maybe listening to this now. Okay, my agenda, this is very much my view, and the bottom line is I founded SDI, so I have to have a big interest in what they've developed over the years. But I have some, obviously, what's happening in the rest of the industry and the landscape generally, and why there's so much fluff out there and the good stuff. And now I'm going to tell you about it, which I hope comes across in this. I've spent, I think, about 35 years in service desks and IT service management, so you've seen the grey hair or lack of hair, but truly a veteran. I'm old, but still here, still sharp, and I've seen it and done it. So you're struggling with probably I've come across. So hopefully I'll have an very, very open view, and I don't have an axe to grind. I'll have you know, I'm 60 this year, so I'm probably the oldest presenter in this stream. Guess what? Yeah, surprise, surprise. People develop things just to make money or because they've got a direct interest in it. I guess that's probably not a surprise to you. Some things that I've discovered in the research that I've been doing, and luckily, because I don't have a regular, I can work on the industry rather than in it. And what I've observed during the research that I've been doing is people have developed quite a lot of stuff that's more money driven. In other words, it's developed really in order to generate the money rather than being actually original or a truly valuable idea that's going to move the case for the industry on. And I actually think that's wrong. And I think that, yeah, generating money is great. At SDI, for example, as the highest back in 1998, which is a very long time ago. But the whole thrust was to help service people that often struggle because, yeah, you know, the desks where everybody would blame it, even though they probably break the people at the end of the telephone or at the end of an email, so they got all the bad that was possibly going. So I think, yeah, to really have a consistent, ongoing business, and yeah, luckily we've survived it, yeah, if you want to put it like that, for 26 years now, and that to me is really indicating that we've been able to change to reflect how the market's changed over the years. I mean, if you think back to when we started, there was no internet, there was no smartphone, there was no clouds, nothing of that existed. And we were supporting, yeah, those big machine rooms with dumb terminals at the end. So things have come an awful long way in the lifetime of SDI and helped user group started. So I'm a big fan of, yeah, sort of innovation, not for the money's sake, to make a real value difference in the industry. So bear that in mind as we work through this. Where we're going to start is really with this classic diagram. I've seen in many different guises over many different presentations, I'm sure. So why I classically look at this is that people are always in that top box or circle or whatever you like to call it, because, yeah, we're the only people that can actually listen to business and customer need, demand, where business is actually going, and interpret it and drive the use of IT and the selection of it to the best value for the business. The technology helps, of course, and it can help both of the other circles in terms of helping the people be more productive, but also in terms of getting more out of the process. The process I've always regarded very heavily as the bedrock, because, as you know, people may change, technology may change. But if we have really sound process, then what that can do is provide the glue that isn't too damaging whatever happens to it. So think of that when you're developing stuff, because bottom line is progress will always be there. The people and the technology will change. So that's my third point to remember. I think process is key. Moving on to the next of the slides, where we are now, and maybe my assessment of where we are as an industry in terms of ITSM and in terms of the service desk itself. Clearly, we're now a mature industry. If you think back to my early days in the 80s when I developed my first help desk right way back in 1983, so the fact that this means that I've seen an awful lot of help desk activity, and the fact that I knew that is novel. So what I'm saying is that we're much more important to the scheme of things than used to be. And that's largely because in today's world, technology is just so critical in everything that businesses do. Yeah, I've rammed that down to it for many years that, as an industry, most businesses stop without it. It's essential as that. And the other thing, in terms of growing independence, if you think about how consumers and customers use technology, for them, it's part of their everyday fabric of life now. What teenager don't you see with a phone glued to their and they're going WhatsApp with their friends, or they're updating on Facebook? Because my father, who's he's 90, even he went on Facebook for a while and was communicating with my niece out in Australia and New Zealand. So if that's become as mainstream, having like my dad, who's even older than me, using it, then we are dependent on technology for a communication and what form it happens to take. So, and we're just going to face more and more of this. And I'm holding here, and I would show it to you, but it's in and out of video and back into the slides. I was reading an article in the Sunday Times the other day. It's from Jeff Bezos, who was the founder of Amazon. And it was talking about how you our buying patterns to predict what we might want in the future. You're probably used to getting from Amazon saying that. But what really caught my eye in the same article was Google filing a patent for a new computer that automatically update a user's social network status and write the tweets or blogs for us. So, in the future, we're not even going to have to worry about concocting blogs and tweets. It's going to do it for us, based on our approval, so we can end it. So, if you think about it, that is where the world we're supporting is going. I think, knowledge is going to be key in the future. We have a high amount of knowledge about what's going on out there, and we're continually keeping abreast. But the bad news is all of the people using the support are racing ahead as well. So you've got to keep your eyes on, matching that speed of development so that you don't get out of date with the technology. It'll be increasingly difficult for me as I get older. Fine, I've grown up with technology, but the bottom line is I'm not as experienced as the 20-year-old is going to be far better at using technology than that. So if we're older, we're going to get out of date quicker, so we're going to have to try even harder to keep up with knowledge and the development of support that always do. Just to wrap home, I was reading a marketing report for a company that was at Target, which is is linked to Salesforce. And 70% of customers' journeys are now self-directed before they meet anybody in our organization. So, for example, if you're buying a car, you'd rock up at the showroom armed with facts about the performance of the car, what colours it comes in, and even maybe what price the actual car has been bought by the dealer for. So you know his margin. And so we're dealing with armed consumers. So if any of you are listening in you can actually know yourselves, and that's even scarier. And you go down to the car showroom, and you get the right deal, or you hold them to ransom. That's a terrible example. Culturally, very, very busy. Might be where are we in terms of delivering against that support demand now? Patchy, as I'm saying here, of our customers and consumers, and in terms of our performance. I think we deliver very erratic business value. I think we actually work it out well enough and respond to changes in business needs as well as we could, because we don't develop a close enough relationship often with our customer base. And the last point here is we are total rubbish at promoting us. I count on the fingers of one hand the really great promotional service desks. There are one or two universities I've been to recently. I met last week, Leeds and St Andrews. And for those of you out there heard of St Andrews golf course, it's a really great university which where our so they one of the leading universities in getting close to their students and faculty base in order to work exactly what they need in terms of business value. So there are some people doing it well, and people like Exo, O2 are very good at reaching out and but I guess we could all identify people that don't do it as well. So I think that's where we are. We're very performance, we deliver erratic business value, we often can't, certainly can't promote well the actual proof of doing a great job. And if we're going to become a place where people really want to work, and that's what I've always wanted for the service desk, it becomes aspirational. You don't want to be a programmer, you don't want to be a network engineer, you want to work in something of value to the business that you work with. So that's where I'd want the service desk to be. And I think, that's where we want to take it. So let's start a look at what's actually out there to help you. And another very, very to just show you what I've been looking at. And some of these things are great, and some of them aren't so great. And running through the list, and I'll go into some of them in a little bit more detail in just a second, but the bottom line is, the stuff on the left-hand side is probably stuff that I take from and adapt it to what already your process. That's a big strong point for me. Don't change what you don't need to change. On the other side, there's a lot of people out there that might not be totally usable in terms of immediately, or it's frankly very obvious, and you've already done it or are aware of it. So I'll go into them in some things in more detail in a minute. So I'm going to park Agile and DevOps and come back to that. I'm going to park Lean, Six Sigma, and EFQM and come back to that. Both of those I'm going to spend more time with in a minute. About big data. And what I think of it as a customer. And I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I've got some big customers. I mean, I'm 2 and 15 stone, so that's big. But I think we've always in ITSM had our customers' data. That's why we have ITSM and service management systems to store the data and that people had problems with. So we've had big data for a long time, and it's relevant. I think more and more that's going to become a key for us to provide great service, because customers than many other people do. So bottom line is very good at storing user data, but where I think we fall down is we don't use it to great effect, which is where we might be able to learn from some of these other things in a minute. SFIA builds information in the past. It's developed by the British Computer Society originally. Basically, is a skills mapping framework that you can use very effectively to help you develop career paths for your people, maybe yourself, and work out what you need to define the roles in those particular networks, whether it be relationships or whether it be the help desk or service desk for themselves. So useful. A lot of other things, like nuance, and I was working with a professor at Cambridge recently who's developing an algorithm for identifying emotion in the voices over a telephone line. And so voice biometrics I see as maybe giving high volume contact centers the edge in identifying, for example, who the customers are you can upsell to, and basically tell whether your customers are getting hacked off with something you're doing and connected in the tone of voice or something like that. But BYOD or shadow IT or downloaded apps that you don't officially support, we call it. And to me, these names seem to drift in and out of fashion. And maybe one of the other things I'm saying here is there's a lot of fashion in the terminology being used today. And I'm not too old to really be bothered about fashion. What I want is something that really delivers value. And calling a new name isn't going to make it sexy to me, I'm afraid. It's a bit like, flared trousers. God, I remember when they first came around, I used to wear tank tops with them. I am that old. And the bottom line is, if it doesn't make you look good, why the hell wear it? I didn't look good in bell bottoms. My thighs are too big. I believe me, they're still big, even though I'm shrinking. Let's not go there, eh? So what I see will become consistently, people like your accounts department may be downloading apps that help them do their job. Fine. We can support it, like bring tablets in. As if you use it, great, but you might not necessarily support it, or you might decide that it's sensible to support it because it's a business thing. I'm probably in the latter camp. I mean, let's try and support it if we can. Lots of people over the last 5 years, even including me at times, have basically been saying we should scrap the service desk. And excuse the expression, it's obvious. The service desk is going nowhere. I think what we're trying to say by saying, bin the service desk, scrap the service desk, whatever, is that, the current model, or even the model we had a year or two ago, is probably out of date. It's the flared trousers. And, it's not fashionable anymore. I guess I'm defeating my own argument there. But the bottom line is that the core service desk functionality is great. We just need to evolve it to work better. And that's what I'm about. Basic ITSM, Rob England, who I know you'll be hearing from later, has written some brilliant books and also some quite funny ones with a sort of tongue-in-cheek sense of humour. If you're out there, I love your the anecdotes in it, and I'll come back to that several times in the future because it's great fun. So basic IT service management, whether you call it or not, I don't care. Management, problem management, incident management, all work brilliantly. As I'm probably your biggest fan of root cause analysis, because if you aren't eliminating the root causes of things, you're hurting your customers. People boast about handling more issues than last year. That's actually criminal. They should be handling less because they should be driving down the causes of the problems. Your customers do not want to call you. So that's an example of this. And the thing about common sense is it ain't that common, is it? So focus on common sense solutions and selections as you're working through the presentation with me. This year, ITSMF announced their big four focus on loads of stuff. And I sort of looked at that and thought, well, actually, it's not so big. Back to basics, managing complexity, using ITSM and Agile to blend the techniques together. That's sort of not a great step forward, and it's not big. It's good from the point of view you could focus on it, but it's not great. So do what you like with it. The rest of this right-hand column, if you like, and the expression horror on my face, that was in the days when I had hair. Bureaus and consultants, and yeah, the reference to 6, 7, 8, or 300 steps to the ultimate solution. I've forgotten what it's actually called now. It's oh my God, yeah, you know when you're thinking of something and you can't remember what the hell it is. I do have a description here somewhere. Obashi is all about data flow modeling. And yeah, with all the other things on this page, here we are: ownership, business process, application, system. We've been doing that sort of stuff for years. Okay, you might want to take a look at it and see if there's something in there that you can extract. But I reckon if you put on something else, probably you can bypass it. Null matters, null, but why? Yeah, there are any number of services, including SDI. That's the first for SDI, I think. Hours, years developing. So why develop anything that tries to reinvent the wheel? Not worth it. I work a lot with BSI, and so there's some great standards out there for people that have been involved with ITSM. Standards like 8477, which is a customer service, and even ISO 20000, who I know a number of you may have worked with. Frankly, they tend to be 2 years out and they're actually completed. So they can't be relevant directly to you. So probably, again, worth bypassing. To Agile, and I've failed you really badly. I've uploaded the wrong version of this presentation. If I hadn't told you, you'd never have noticed. So this is an old diagram, but I think, yeah, what I'm getting from both Agile and really it's operational manifestation of DevOps. Yeah, the cognition, or the expert gurus in Agile DevOps probably tearing their hair out right now, but I think the application of Agile and DevOps is one and the same to help you improve IT service management. Bottom line is that I would agree with the basic principle behind Agile, which basically is achieve customer satisfaction, delivering business value much quicker than we've ever managed through traditional development work. That actually sums it up. And what scares me, companies like Oracle are involved in selling agile methodologies. There's even an Agile alliance. And yeah, I thought about it, and that's a bit like SDI, advocating the benefits of SDI. Yeah, the Agile alliance of advocating Agile, which is fine. But there's another whole industry grown up trying to tell us stuff. And I think we need to do that and draw out of both Agile and DevOps what we need. Okay, talking a little bit about some of the things, and the next couple of slides are very much about what we can use. Some of the things I think we're sort of doing already, really. And if you look at this page, we're showing a wonderful picture of a scrum. And I used to play a lot of rugby, and it's all about, yeah, what it's about. It's actually about achieving things as a team. And the sort of scrum down concept of getting together and collaborating and working out a common solution to a problem, and it is very relevant, obviously. And what I put here, the backlog target, say, for example, you've got a backlog of issues within Service Desk, scrum down and an agile-based sprint, which means a quick project to fix maybe the 2 or 3 key issues that are killing you in terms of damaging your productivity or your business value. So that's my key to this. Is the bottom line is that we can use sprinting to get our teams working together with common goals and being measured. Some of this we are doing already, aren't we? If you're not, you should be. Sorry about the swearing. The essence of DevOps is, yeah, there used to be a wall, and in this diagram I've nicked from people up there on the internet. Illustrates developers will change, new stuff coming in, and ops, we want stability. And you're all familiar with this next diagram. That's where we worked many times before. We've just tossed things over the wall from development and operations and it, which has got us nowhere very quickly. So I see DevOps as a logical way of implementing agile type methodologies to spice up and improve on the ITSM processes you already have. I don't think you throw your ITSM processes away and adopt a complete agile stroke DevOps approach at all. I recommend you stick with what you know, and I recommend you adopt the best of what's there to actually improve what you can deliver. That is where I recommend you go. So other things that are available to help you. Lean is a very powerful methodology of quality methodology to line, like the EFQM, the European Foundation for Quality Management. Lean is about developing quickly and effectively stuff that can work to make your processes better, more efficient, and cheaper. That really sums it up. Six Sigma comes out of the manufacturing base originally. It was designed for precision. And for those of you old enough to remember, this is like Kaizen. It was all about, the Japanese used to say, well, how many defective items do you want in a batch of 100? And you'd say, oh, no more than 3. And they'd deliver you 97 correct ones into a bag of 3 defective ones and take you very literally. And really, any quality methodologies like that, we're looking to run down and break up the causes of faults or inaccuracy or errors that disrupt the smooth running of our business. And if you think what the customers actually want, they want stability, they want speed, they want accuracy, and these things down the bottom. We want happy staff to grow and be happy and content with what they're doing. We want profitability and increased sales. Of course we do. Some of these things from Six Sigma will look very familiar to you: definition, measurements, analysis, improvement, control. So all of these things, those of you following ITSM or ITSM anyway will be very familiar with all of these. So clearly what you do is you can zone in and focus on these particular areas and just check against what you're doing right now as to whether it's the right thing for you to do. So moving on to your next steps, and I've developed 6 of them, but I've called them 1, 2, 3, and ABC just because I can. And you know all your against and well, it's my attempt at doing a bit of what they do. You are tailoring your research very much to identify what's out there amongst those things that, in a session this short, I can only skim across the top of. But go and have a look at what I've looked at. And cherry pick the best stuff that can work with the best of your processes at the moment. If you've got processes you're not happy with, you may well find a nugget that you can work with that will work with your current process and update it to a stage where you're really happy with it. Use it in a sort of pilot sense to start with, assess how it's working, and then go for it if it makes sense to you. And decide whether you update or replace. Pilot, as I've said. And I was always reminded of another manager who said his philosophy was ready, shoot, aim. And what I guess I'm saying here is, that's what you should do. Test out the action and test it as you go on the path. If you know it's right, install it. Don't fanny around, having ends and too much consultation. Just do it. And then you can always tweak it to make it work better as you go down the line with this new process that you think can really work for you. Set fresh targets that evidence the business value, measure as you need. So I'm saying, I guess, it's the whole process. It's just so easy. So how can we fail? I think at the end of this presentation, which is pretty much where now, and we'll just actually go back to that last slide, leave that there so you identify your steps and just imagine yourself laying on that world on the left screen, card, my goodness. So that's where you're at. And it's simple, but maybe you can find solutions out there in the industry, spice up what you've got running well currently, or maybe there's something you're unhappy with you can hit. So